Hello and welcome to the Print Dashboard. Indians are going off-road, and with Maruti-Suzuki ready with prices for the much-awaited Jimny, the off-roading space is about to heat up. Automotive journalist and writer Kushan Mitra went to the Garhwal Hills in Uttarakhand to drive the Jimny. Kushan has also driven its rival, the Mahindra Thar, extensively. He joins us to talk about the new off-road culture that's gripping India. Hello Kushan, welcome to Dashboard, welcome to the Print. How was Garhwal Hills and how was Jimny?
Oh, it's a fantastic product. I really had fun driving. We were driving on a dried up riverbed where one of these off-roading clubs and organizations called Cougar Motorsports, run by my friend Ashish Gupta, had set up 6 special stages where we took the car uphill, downhill, through steep inclines and declines, and going sideways. It's quite remarkable when you're sitting sideways in a car. You're looking at the ground out of the window, and we went through 2 foot deep water. It was all quite remarkable, and then I took the car out on the highway as well. So
Right.
it was a great experience with the car.
Kushan Jimny has been one of the most anticipated vehicles Indians
Yeah.
have been looking forward to. Now it's finally going to we are nearing the price announcement
Yeah.
event and something like that. And a lot of us would know, and a lot of us would not remember this, but Jimny is essentially Gypsy. Gypsy is second generation was running in India, is still running in India, and then Jimny is probably the 5th generation of.
It is the Jimny. The global brand was Jimny. When it was brought to India by Maruti-Suzuki, at that time Maruti was still a state-owned enterprise, and it was called the Gypsy. It was the second generation of the car. We ran it. It's not being made anymore. In fact, for the last few years, when it was being made, it was only being sold to the armed forces and the paramilitary forces. In fact, many of my friends in the armed forces and paramilitary forces are looking forward to the Jimny. However, the Jimny, as I drove it and as Maruti Suzuki has developed for India, is a fairly, I would say, a luxurious car almost. It's got all the modern conveniences. You've got automatic heating and air conditioning. You've got a 9-inch touchscreen on the top end Alpha model.
Right.
I don't think you'll see that in a police car, right? Delhi police has so many gypsies running around.
But Kushan, why did it take so long for them to get this
I
version?
think the gypsy towards the end had very limited appeal in India, at least among private buyers. While the police forces, the paramilitaries and the armed forces loved it, they weren't buying more than 100 or 200 units per month. And for a car company the size of Maruti Suzuki, making a low volume vehicle makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, you need to have volumes, and you need to produce several thousand vehicles a month for it to make sense to invest in a line, to invest in the stamping dies that make the metal plates. So for this car, for example, Maruti has over 30,000 orders in place already, and they're really looking forward to seeing how they will fulfill it. I don't think they'll be making more than 2,500 to 3,000 a year. And the other reason, as you said, the Mahindra Thar.
Right. I mean, if sales were a problem back then till a few years ago, I'm sure now things are changing.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
think can we say it's the off-road?
It's just off-road
Off-road
culture.
madness.
I won't call it madness, but it's been 3 years since the Mahindra Thar, the new Mahindra Thar, was launched, and there are already 100,000 owners of the new Thar. So it's got, I mean, there are people we know who have bought the Thar who love it, and this is a 3-door car. It's not a 5-door like the Jimny, and 3-door cars are not very popular in India, but they've sold 100,000 of them. So obviously there's demand. Now I do believe the Jimny will be more expensive, but there is obviously an off-road culture developing also. People want to do more with their vehicles. They want it. So therefore I want to say there's an off-road culture developing. There's a motorsports culture developing in India. As the market is growing, as the economy is growing, people want to do more with their vehicles.
Right.
I do not believe the Thar or the Jimny will in many households be the primary vehicle. They will probably be the second or the third vehicle. Second, definitely, and you that's the one you take for your adventures. You might take it up to, go river rafting on the Zanskar River in Leh, or you want to take it to a fishing hole somewhere in Tirthan Valley. Places you cannot reach with a normal car, or you want to just go camping and off-roading, and the Jimny and the Thar offer you that. And
So, Kushan, are you saying that it's just the automakers who are driving this off-road enthusiasm in India, or was there some pent-up demand? Because in terms of vehicle, we already had off-roaders, not out-and-out off-roaders, but we had like the Bolero, or even we had the older generation Thar as well. But what exactly do you think?
I think these new
sort of-
cars are also much more comfortable. So you want to go off-roading, but you also want some modern conveniences. Of course, the Jimny comes with 6 airbags. It comes with, as legally required nowadays. It comes with a reversing camera. You have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. I mean, same with the Thar. You have wireless connectivity, airbags. You have safety features in these cars that you never had in previous generation cars.
Right.
And that's a legal requirement in India today. But it's also that you want some conveniences. You want an air conditioner. You want a decent audio system, which you couldn't get in earlier generation cars.
Right.
And because let's be honest, while you might take this to a fishing hole somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or you might take it, and in India we don't have small mountains, you have big mountains, so you might take it up somewhere 10,000 feet plus, 15,000 feet plus.
Right.
You go to Arunachal Pradesh, the roads aren't great. But you also want a nice audio system. You also want air conditioning. I mean, even yesterday, when you're driving on this dried riverbed, it was 35, 36 degrees outside. It's hot, it's humid. You want an AC.
Right, right.
I mean, you want some modern conveniences in life. So the previous cars didn't cut it. And the new cars are obviously comfortable because you also live in the urban jungle.
Right. And do you think Maruti is trying to kind of hit that sweet spot with the 5-door version,
Yeah,
and also with as you mentioned in your latest dashboard column, that it has the modern entertainment system. It
Yeah.
has 6 airbags, and it has some of the features which you usually find in more of a passenger vehicle.
Yeah.
For a city ride.
Honestly speaking, this is not a vehicle I would recommend to anybody who will not take it off-road, because I don't expect the Jimny to be very cheap when the prices are finally announced on June the 7th. It will be more expensive than a Brezza, even though having less capacity. It's a 4-seater, this car. And it will be at the same price as same models of the Grand Vitara. Now, if you want to go off-roading, and to most places there's a version of the Grand Vitara also made by Maruti-Suzuki, which has, an electronic all-wheel drive system called All Grip. But whereas the Jimny has a proper mechanical transfer case. So there is that. I mean, this is a car that is designed for somebody who does want to go off-road. Obviously, I've also written that some off-roaders, the Thar in particular, many people bought who never went off-road.
Right.
As a Tushan car, you want to show off that you are an alpha personality. You are, you love the adventurous life, even though you might never take a vehicle out of the city. And it's going to be very unfortunate if a Jimny is bought and never sees the bottom of a river valley or the snow, because this is a car that is extremely capable, and it's a car that's designed for adventure. But yes, there will be buyers who buy it to portray that this is my lifestyle.
Right. Do you think Jimny would be able to attain the kind of cult that Gypsy did in this country?
See, my father had 3 Gypsies in his life, and the Jimny is not like my father's Gypsies. That is, those are more basic cars, and at that point of time, we didn't have these fantastic expressways linking India. I mean, the quality of highways back in the 90s was horrible. You needed a car like the Gypsy just to commute from Delhi to Lucknow, whereas today Delhi to Lucknow you can do in 6 hours on fantastic expressways.
Right.
But things have changed now. This is a lifestyle product. You don't need it to because roads are bad. We are building almost 21 kilometers of new highway and expressway.
It's like a choice going off-road.
It's a choice.
You
It's
get
a choice.
bored of the tarmac and then you want to hit.
You want to get bored of the tarmac, you want to go off-road. And off-roading could also mean you don't need to do it. I mean, there are, once it rains, if you go down to parts, so Mahindra has this track near the factory where they make the Thar in Igatpuri, where they, in the monsoons, it's slush, it's deep slush. You got to wear Wellington boots out there, covering all the way up to your knees. And you can go in the slush in the rain, and it's great fun going in the slush in the rain in a car, and you realize the capabilities of vehicles like the Thar. Similarly with the Jimny, I'm sure you people will take it up, up in the snow. You can put snow chains on the car. You'll be able to take the car anywhere. That's one reason the armed forces like this car also. You can take it anywhere. You can go. You can go dune bashing in Jaisalmer. You can do all of that with these cars.
And all of that also probably comes at a cost. So how do you see Jimny's pricing being projected? They're still not out, but
it's going to be an expensive car, man. As I said, I personally, I don't know. Some were speculating it will come in under 15 lakhs for the entry level model, but from what I understand, Maruti Suzuki will only be coming out with 2 models of this car, the Zeta and the top end Alpha. They both have an touchscreen infotainment system. The Alpha will have factory fitted tinted windows, and you'll also have alloy wheels on the top end model, and you can accessorize the car intensely as well. So I'm sure if you buy it with roof rails and some accessories such as a tent, you can get the price well over 20, 22, 23 lakhs. So I think starting at 15, and for a fully accessorized model with scuff plates and everything, going up well beyond 22, 23.
But then, if I'm not mistaken, that would kind of that takes away the competition from Thar, because Thar is,
it does. The Thar is cheaper. The Thar will be cheaper, but I think it's a very, very well engineered car. Right. It's a very, very well engineered car. It's a comfortable car. I think it's more comfortable than the Thar.
That's the question that a lot of our viewers would want to know. This is the question.
Well, I cannot actually say that because we are not allowed to do comparative reviews of the car. I don't want to say it, but it's
because Thar has a legacy.
Thar has a legacy, as does the Gypsy.
Yeah.
And make no mistakes. I mean, several journalists from the 90s, my father, even Mr. Gupta, have used the Gypsy. But if you were to ask me, I'd probably buy a Jimny for not just for those legacy reasons, because I grew up. When I was a teenager, I drove a Gypsy when I was a 18, 19-year-old in college and in class 12. I drove a Gypsy. I enjoyed driving this car. I'm not 18, 19 anymore. I'm in my early 40s, so it felt comfortable to me.
Right.
I liked it. Weirdly enough, I don't own a car because I keep on getting cars to drive, but I would buy a Jimny. I would definitely, if I had some money right now, I'd
and what would we would not let you go without letting us know the reasons that make you pick Jimny.
Maybe because I've grown up with Maruti Suzuki vehicles. Because, as I said, when I was 18, 19-year-old, one of the first cars I drove extensively was a Gypsy. I have friends in the paramilitaries and army. I've gone around in Gypsies all over the country. I've driven them in the northeast, in the south, everywhere. I love the Thar. I think it's a very, very capable car. Do not get me wrong over there. I drove the Thar on the Trans-Arunachal Drive I did last year. Amazing car. But sometimes you have a soft spot for vehicles because you've experienced them yourself.
Right.
And as I said, this is not my father's Gypsy. It's a brilliant car. It is a modern car. It's a car built for 2020. It's not a 1980s car. It's a 2020s car. but it's a fantastic car. It's a car, as I said, I would probably buy.
Right.
because
Well,
of-
Maruti may have been late to this off-road competition, but with Jimny and also Thar and post Kurka, the competition in India is heating up, and we'll keep a close watch on that. Well, we leave it here at the Print Dashboard. Thank you for watching.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Anurag.
Kushan.
Bye-bye.